Today, let's review all the characters we've covered from lessons 1 to 6. My course focuses more on listening and speaking, but it never hurts to learn to read a little bit. As I presume everyone knows, the written system of the Chinese language is made of these characters. To learn to read means to get extremely familiar with these characters. I have often been told that for anyone whose mother tongue is alphabetic, these characters are like pictures and are incredibly hard to memorize and to write. Well, I presume it is true, but let's start anyway. We've already covered 138 characters in the first 6 lessons. Can you believe that? I'll go over them one by one in the order they are usually arranged in Chinese dictionary, that is alphabetically, or based on their pinyin or pronunciation. Remember to give a response before me and repeat after me as I go over them one by one, including the words they can build and how they are used in sentences. Let's start. We've met only one character under the letter A. I. This character is under the letter A and is put at the very beginning because its pinyin I starts with A. Do you remember what it means? When used as a verb, I means to love. Say we love him. 我们爱他. Say he loves us. 他爱我们. Now say everyone loves him. 每个人都爱他. The first character we will come across under the letter B is 把. We learned this character as the measure word for a chair. Now say one chair. 一把椅子. Say this chair. 这把椅子. Say that chair. 那把椅子. Now let's come to the character 吧. We learned it in the word 酒吧, which means a bar that serves drinks. In fact, this character 吧 is a transliteration from the English word bar. Again, how to say bar in Chinese? 酒吧. The next one is 班. Do you remember how to say Spain in Chinese? 西班牙. Do you remember how to say to go to work? 上班. These two words, 西班牙 and 上班, are a good example to show that one Chinese character can be used to form different words that are entirely unrelated. The next one is this character. Do you remember how to read it? 杯. How to say cup? 杯子. This is the next one. Do you remember how to read this character? It means pancake. 饼. Now say one pancake. 一张饼. This character is pronounced 博. Listen and repeat. 博. How to say museum? 博物馆. This is the character for no and not. How to read it? 不. 不. Say, no, I don't speak Chinese. 不，我不说汉语. Say, that cat is not mine. 那只猫不是我的. This character is also pronounced 不. It makes up the word for to walk. Do you remember how to say to walk? 步行. Now let's come to the characters under C. The first one is 餐. Say dining room. 餐厅. Say restaurant. 餐馆. This one is 常. Say usually. 通常. Say frequently. 经常. This is the character for car. 车. How to say to drive? 开车. Say a black car. 一辆黑车. This is 吃, which means to eat. How to say to have a meal? 吃饭. How to say to eat something? 吃东西. Now say to eat a lot. 吃得很多. And you remember how to say to eat little? 吃得很少. Now this character reads 厨. It appears in the word for kitchen. Do you remember how to say kitchen? 厨房. Yes. This is 从. You remember how to say never? 从不 or 从来不. This is 错. It literally means wrong. We met this in the word for not wrong, used to give a positive answer to a general question. You remember that word? 没错. Now let's come to characters under the letter D. The first one is 但. It means but. How to say but? 但是. This is 当. Do you remember how to say at that time? 当时. Say, I was speaking Chinese at that time. 我当时在说汉语. Now this character is 的. You remember how to say he speaks English very well? 他英语说得很好. How to say I drink very little? 我喝得很少. Now in these two sentences we use this 的. You might find it confusing, but let's continue to the next 的. This is another 的 in Chinese, and this is the most common one. This is the one you see the most frequently. It is often used to indicate possessive relationship. How to say my or mine? 我的 how to say your or yours 你的 and how to say theirs 他们的 and how to say Lucy's 露西的 or Lucy 的 Sometimes you don't have to translate the name. Now, there are 3 de in the Chinese language. It's challenging even for some Chinese to be able to use them exactly accurate on where and when to use each. But if you're just speaking Chinese, you don't have to bother because they sound exactly the same. The next one is 点 How to say a little? 一点 Say, I speak a little Spanish. 我会说一点西语 The next character 顶 Remember it? This is the measure word for hat or for 帽子 Now say one hat. 一顶帽子 Say this hat. 这顶帽子 Say a few hats. 几顶帽子 This is do often used to make plural sweeping statements. Say they walk every day. 他们每天都步行 Say we are all here. 我们都在这儿 Say they've been practicing all along. 他们一直都在练习 This is 对 Where we come across this character, it is used to give a positive answer to a general question. It literally means right, and is often interchangeable with yes. If you want to give a negative answer, use 不对 This is 多 It means many, much, a lot, or more. Say to drink a lot. 喝多 Say to eat a lot. 吃多 Just say a lot. 很多 Now let's come to the characters under the letter E. We've met 2. The first one is R. It is used in the phrase for where, 哪儿 The word has 2 characters, 哪儿 but it's read 哪儿 not 哪儿 We also saw R in the phrase for a little while, 一小会儿 It's made of 4 characters, 一小会儿 but it's not read 会儿 it's read 一小会儿 So you see the trick with this character? We will talk about later in the focused video. The other character under E is R. It appears in the word or, which means at times or sometimes. Say sometimes I drink a lot. 我偶尔喝多 This is the first character under F. It is 饭 It means meal. How to say to have a meal? 吃饭 This is 房 It's part of the word for kitchen. 厨房 Now we've come to characters under G. The first one is the most common measure word. 个 Say that girl. 那个女孩 Say this boy. 这个男孩 Say a few cups. 几个杯子 Say a red cup. 一个红杯子 This character reads 工 It makes up the word for to work. How to say to work? 工作 Now say they never work. 他们从不工作 This character means dog. Do you remember how to read it? 狗 Say our dog. 我们的狗 Say that dog. 那条狗 Now this one, we've seen this character in 3 words, all of which are places. Do you remember how to say library? 图书馆 This character is 馆 It also appears in the word for museum. You remember how to say museum? 博物馆 And how to say restaurant? 餐馆 So you see how the character 馆 always make up words that mean places. The next one is 果 It appears in the word for apple. You remember how to say apple? 苹果 Now characters under H. The first one is 还 We saw this character several times. It is pronounced 还 It makes up the word 还是 which means or. How to say to drive or to walk? 开车还是走路 还 also means in addition, also, or else. For example, how to say we drink in the living room, sometimes also in the dining room. 我们在客厅喝酒，还有时在餐厅喝 Now try to say what else did you see? 你还看见什么了 This character is also pronounced 还 How to say girl? 女孩 How to say boy? 男孩 And how to say child? 孩子 And how to say children? 孩子们 Yes, this character 还 basically means child. The next one is this. Do you remember how to say Chinese referring to the Chinese language? 汉语汉 This is 好 which means good or well. Say very well. 很好. The next one is the character for to drink. You remember how to say to drink? 喝 Say to drink something. 喝东西 Say to drink alcohol. 喝酒 Say to drink a lot. 喝得很多. Now the next one is 很. It means very. Say very good. 很好 Say very little. 很少 Say very much. 很多. The next one is pronounced 后. We met in the word 有时候 which means sometimes. This next character is 会. It sometimes means to be able to or can. Say I can speak English. 我会说英语 Say I can speak a little Chinese. 我会说一点汉语 This character 会 is also used to indicate time. How to say a little while? 一小会儿 Yeah, I don't think there are any Chinese character under the letter I. Now let's do those under the letter J. The first one is 几 It means several or a few. Say those few cars. 那几辆车 Say these few tables. 这几张桌子 This is 家 Say my house. 我的家 or 我家 Ask whose house? 谁家 Say in the house. 在家里 This next one is 间 We met this character in only one word, the one for restroom and bathroom. How to say restroom? 洗手间 This is 件 the measure word for coat. Say a coat. 一件外套 This is 讲 Do you remember how to say speech? 演讲 Say tomorrow I'll make the speech in Chinese. 明天我用汉语演讲 We saw this character in the word for classroom. You remember how to say classroom? 教室 How is this character pronounced? 教 This is 经 Say often or frequently. 经常 This is the character for alcohol. And for any beer or liquor, this is the word to go. How to say to drink alcohol? 喝酒 And how to say bar in Chinese? 酒吧 This is 酒 The first character under the letter K. 开 Kai has many meanings, but we've only known it as to drive. How to say to drive a car? 开车 This is 客 It literally means visitor or guest. Say living room. 客厅 The living room is called 客厅 because it is where people receive their visitors or guests. Let's come to characters under L. The first is 里 It means in or inside and is used to indicate location. Say in the classroom. 在教室里 This is 丽 We met this character in the transliteration of the English name Mary, 玛丽 This is 脸 which means face. You remember how to say a face? 一张脸 This is 练 How do you say to practice? 练习 Say to practice Spanish. 练习西语 Say to practice in the classroom. 在教室里练习 This is 两 It means two. Say two boys. 两个男孩 Say two chairs. 两把椅子 Now this is 辆 another measure word. This is the measure word for vehicles. Say one car. 一辆车 Say this car. 这辆车 This is 路 It literally means road. What's the word that means to walk? 走路 走路 literally means walk on the road or walk the road. This is 路 We met this character in the Chinese transliteration of the English name Lucy. 露西 Now let's come to characters under M. The first one is 马 Again, we met this in the Chinese transliteration of the English name Mary, 玛丽 The next one is 妈 Used at the end of the sentence to make it a general question. Like how to ask, do you drive to the museum? 你开车去博物馆吗? You add this character at the end, it becomes a general question. This is the character for cat. You remember how to say cat? 猫 Say this cat. 这只猫 Say your cat. 你的猫。This is 帽。You remember the word for hat? 帽子。Say those few hats. 那几顶帽子。This is 么。It makes up the word for what, which is 什么。This is 没。It makes up the word that means not wrong, used to answer a general question. How to answer a general question with not wrong? 没错。Try to recognize this one. This one is 每. It means every. Say everyone or everybody. 每个人。Say every day. 每天。Say I practice English every day. 我每天都练习英语。This is 门。You probably remember it in the word 门厅, which means hallway. 门, the character actually means door. So you see why the hallway is called 门厅, because it's close to the door. This one is also pronounced 门. It is mainly used to make the plural form of personal pronouns and some other nouns. Say they or them. 他们, which could be 他们, 他们 or 他们, each indicating a different sort of them, you know. Say we or us. 我们. Say my friends. 我的朋友们. This one is 明. It makes up the character for tomorrow. You remember how to say tomorrow? 明天. Alright, these are all the characters we've covered on our letters from A to M. That's already a lot for one video, so we'll have to cover the rest of the characters in the next video. We covered 70 characters today, and let's continue when I see you next time. Bye!